Hi, I'm Julie Banderas. North Korea has accused the U.S. and South Korea of hatching a devious plan to assassinate Kim Jong Un. According to the Hermit Kingdom, a man named Kim was paid to carry out a biochemical attack on the dear supreme leader. The gentleman was, quote, corrupted and bribed by South Korean officials while he was working at a timber firm in Russia in 2014. Seriously. Here to discuss now, Professor of Political Science at Iona College, Jeanne Zaino, and CEO of American Civics Exchange, Pidot. Thank you both for joining us. All right, Flip, so we take, this all sort of, I don't know, lightly at times. We like to joke about some of the stories coming out of North Korea, most of which are unbelievable. But this is, a man, an unstable man, leading a possible nuclear country in unstable times. So what do you make of this charge?
Right, yeah, it is tempting to treat it sort of comically, because it is basically comical, but it's easy to forget that this is a nuclear-armed,
no, he is not a cartoon character.
Hermetic madman, that it's very hard to understand what actually motivates him,
right,
and what he might do. So in terms of this specific story that they're putting out, I mean, there are a few theories, none of which make a ton of sense. I mean, this could be the pretext for their next provocation. This could be the provocation, and that the last couple of missile tests have failed spectacularly. They may not really have a lot more overtly belligerent things they can do without embarrassing themselves, so maybe now it's just a PR war. Another theory I read this morning on the Hot Air blog actually suggests that North Korea might be getting increasingly concerned that a country like China, which actually does have more in-person contact with the regime, could be getting sick of North Korea's antics, and maybe they would plan something like this. And so it's a little bit of preemptive scapegoating of the U.S. and South Korea that would presumably have a harder time getting access to the supreme leader. So they're always inscrutable, obviously. We make a mistake to take them lightly, but I think we also make a mistake to try and view the Kim regime's actions through a truly rational lens.
First of all, Jeanne, I mean, the Kim regime will look for any reason whatsoever to fire off another missile, to threaten the West, to criticize our president. Is this some sort of loophole? Is this some sort of scapegoat to then try to, I guess, take action against us somehow and justify it with the fact that maybe the United States is involved in putting some kind of hit job out on this guy? Certainly the United States would not be too sad to see him go. Do you believe there's any truth to this accusation?
I don't think we have any evidence that there is truth to the accusation as of this point. So I would suggest that what this is likely is this is a move by North Korea to say, look, we are being victimized, to play the victim, and then, as you mentioned, if they decide to do another test, this could be a reason. And it also diverts attention away from these failed missile launches that they've been making. True. And they have been, let's be honest, under real fire from, and not actual fire, but real fire from the Trump administration. And I have to say, this is not something that many of us suspected that the administration in just over 100 days would be able to achieve, but they have really managed to put the North Korean leadership on the defensive, if you will. So I think we see a little bit of reaction, or a lot of reaction to that, and I do give the Trump administration credit for that. Whether this was by design or by default, they have put this administration on the defensive, and I think this latest story is just an example of how they're responding to that, and I think they feel that there's nothing to lose here. If we say this and there's no evidence, nobody will be surprised, but it does give us an excuse for any behavior we engage in subsequently, and it diverts attention from our failures.
That's all they're looking for, is some sort of excuse, some sort of sign of intimidation by any other nation, and they're going to go off and fire off another missile or feel they are justified to do so. But, Flip, there's a lot of tension right now also on the Korean Peninsula. Where does this story fit into the current situation?
Well, as you said, there is tension. We've been mobilizing and moving military assets as well, which, again, if they're looking for an excuse to say, well, we're being threatened, you'd think that would be the lower-hanging fruit, to say you're moving carrier strike groups into our waters. So it's hard to know where this fits in. This could be bluster. Someone got an idea in the propaganda ministry to put out a crazy story like this. It could be a calculated pretext to the next provocation. It could also be, you know, a reaction to we've seen now some movement from China in terms of taking this more seriously, sort of cooperating with the Trump administration, which possibly raises in Kim Jong Un's mind the incremental, you know, crisis that his nation faces in increasing isolation from their one existing trading partner. They may feel, well, look, we've got to get China back on our side. We've got to convince them that we deserve sympathy because the U.S. is trying to secretly kill us with nanoparticles, whatever the story said. So again, it's hard with such a characteristically irrational head of state to read too much into where this fits within a strategy, you know, through the lens that we would normally view it. But it's I think an indication at least that they're rattled in a way they haven't been in recent years.
Right. All right, Flip and Jeanne, thank you very much for joining us. Very interesting.
Thank you.
For complete political coverage, stay right here on FoxNews.com. I'm Julie Banderas. Thanks for watching.